What's on your mind, big dog?
I was just thinking, man. So I'm curious to know, like, when did you know you was ready to get married? Like, what was that defining factor? What let you know, hey, this is it?
Defining moment,
I'm ready.
factor.
I'm about to marry her. Like, I know this is it. This is the one. Like, what? And because we all got married pretty young.
Yeah.
And that's like frowned upon.
So for me, when you say get married young, hey man, we here to be transparent.
Absolutely.
I will be talking about my first marriage.
Okay.
Jason. He said, okay. But no, I mean, because that is a part of my marriage
Absolutely.
journey.
Absolutely.
And
that was your youngest part of you. So that's the real. See, man. You got to speak on that because we really got to, like, I want to know your frame of mind when you first.
It helps you understand the frame of mind you was in.
Where you was in,
definitely.
How old were you?
Well, first of all, I was 21 when I got married.
Got you.
The first time.
Ooh, yeah.
So I was fresh out of Cleveland. I had just joined the military. I was in for a little bit. What happened was, well, not what happened, but I went overseas. I went over to Saudi Arabia, and I was serving over there.
Appreciate your service, too.
I appreciate that, man. It's my pleasure.
Yeah. For sure.
But no, I was over there serving on Operation Southern Watch. And what that is after the war happened, we had to set up a defense south of Iraq.
Got you.
So I was stationed over there during that time of that defense
initiative
to make sure nothing happened on the southern side.
So this was probably
Iraq.
Like what year?
So I was 21. So 2001.
2001.
Okay.
Yeah. I got you.
So 2001. But of course, I had been dealing with a young lady before I left, and a great young lady. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that I definitely really connected with. Somebody who always did right by me.
Right.
Someone who, an amazing young lady, man. But when I was over there, reality hit a different way than I had been used to it hitting. When I was over there, I was like, man, it's a chance I don't come back.
So real freedom.
Like,
yeah.
No. It's a real chance of danger striking.
Like, I might not come back.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
so my perspective of life changed.
I got you.
My perspective of life changed.
Like now or never.
Like, my perspective of life was like, yo, you need to just take advantage of the life that you have. You know what I'm saying? You with somebody and she's an amazing person. Now, our circumstance was a little bit, well, I can't say a little bit. Our circumstance was off on my end because my heart wasn't where it should have been to get involved in a marriage.
Absolutely.
Got you. Your heart was with somebody else.
Yeah, my heart was with my current wife.
Right.
Got you.
Who was my high school sweetheart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my high school sweetheart, the person I was with from the time I was 15 up to the time I left to go to the military, y'all might have heard our story before to some extent. I'm talking to the viewers, but, we ended up apart.
Right.
And ending up apart, life went on.
So she went to college, you went to the military.
Yeah, she went to college, I went to the military, long distance relationship, things got bad, all this, that, and the other. Go back and watch the other podcast. I forgot what episode that was, but, this person came into the picture. And when I got into the circumstances of life, of just understanding that life is one short, anything can happen at any time.
Facts.
And then I'm over there. So over there, it's a heightened emotional.
Right.
It's heightened. You know what I'm saying? Like, you alone.
Right.
You ain't got your family. Your family is thousands of miles away. They not in, first of all, they like 16 hours behind you, even in time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's a different world, man.
It is.
So I ended up making a decision to get on that phone that one night and say, hey, when I get back, we getting married.
Just told her.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
You ain't got you have no option.
It was wild. But the thing is, we have been,
I already
been
know.
together about a year. You know what I'm saying? But being from where she's from, I know we talked before about the difference in being from up north and down south.
So she's from like rural.
Yeah, she was just very pure, very
country.
Very just Southern
Belle.
So she was a Southern Belle.
That's what's up. Okay, now that's a good thing.
That's what I said. It was
Well, you were kind of insinuating something else, but
no.
Yeah, you were. You were insinuating.
That's the way your mind works.
No, he was trying to nicely say slow.
No, man. No,
he was.
First of all, the way I've been describing this situation,
it's most definitely not.
That's what that whole up north, down south thing.
No, that's y'all's stigma, dog. That's y'all's stigma.
Right.
But anyway, she was a Southern Belle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good thing.
So when I said that to her, she should have. She ran with it. Mm-hmm. Like, so by the time I got back to the States,
it was already planned.
It was dresses ordered. It was.
She went in.
Her
family was involved.
Yeah. She told him, of course, she told her mom, and they rocked with me, man. They love me. And they set it up. And I ended up married. So that was my first experience with getting married. Wow. But
so you didn't know, it just kind of happened.
So
his perspective on life changed.
My life perspective.
I have to live.
My life perspective changed, but did I handle it in the most mature way within that perspective change? No.
I was more impulsive.
I wasn't ready to get married. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now I will say, I'll say that for another show, but handling it, if I was more mature, things probably would have been different. You know what I'm saying? But in my
do you think if you was more mature, you would have never made that decision? If you was actually at a mature age, would you have actually made a decision to get married?
Because my dynamic was so different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have, being who I am now, I would have never got married that early, that young. You know what I'm saying? I believe now it's super important to live some life.
Yeah.
Yes.
To allow yourself to live some life, to allow yourself to mature.
I agree.
Before you come to that marriage table.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So if I had the wisdom that I have now, then I would have made that change. But if I would have made that change, a lot would have changed.
What's the longest you've been without being in a relationship?
Bro, honestly, bro, that's crazy because I never thought of it like that. I've always been in a relationship, dog. Always.
So you're a relationship guy.
Definitely.
Wow.
But the thing is, the way things played out and the way things were is I got really, I got really, really serious at 15 with my high school sweetheart, who is my current wife.
Right.
I was with her all through high school.
Right.
All the way to I was in the military.
Right.
We was even still working things out while I was in the military.
Right.
Then things didn't work out and I went straight into another relationship and that turned into a marriage.
Yeah.
Man.
The reason why I asked that is because just self-evaluating, I've noticed that about me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, for as long as I can remember, I was with somebody.
Yeah, you were.
I mean, me and Constance had the longest stint, but, it wasn't too long that I went without having somebody with the title of that's Ant's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Right. You know who his girl is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, I still played around and stuff like that, but there was always that come home to.
Mm-hmm. But even his playing around wasn't genuine.
What you mean?
Like seriously, like because you always really like you played around to show off and show I can do it. But
I wouldn't take it nowhere.
But he wouldn't go nowhere with it. Like he was comfortable always returning back to whatever his situation was.
Right.
Like we were really different. See, I'm total opposite of both of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I was a guy that didn't mind being alone.
Right.
I played the field because I wasn't like him. Like I didn't. The cute ones didn't come easy.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got older, things changed for you.
Real deal.
The cute was coming a little easier.
Right.
Yeah. I was cool with it. And I felt no type of way about spreading it around.
Jay got his stuff later than everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
It came a little different for me.
A little different.
So for me to stop.
Right.
That's
everything I had going on.
Yeah, that's pretty big, man.
So how did you know you was ready for marriage?
Well, you got to understand me. And you got to understand my situation.
What that mean?
Like, I'm gonna tell you how powerful this was for me. So I wasn't in a typical, like when I met Amy, I was not in a. We weren't in a typical. We didn't live in the same state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we didn't know each other from a can of paint. Mm-hmm. And I also had some other situations going on before I met her. Mm-hmm. And one I was like pretty serious with. You know what I mean? And it's like, so we were getting closer and closer. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to watch this boxing match.
Right.
And I'm gonna come back with a wife. Mm-hmm. Like, no one would have ever thought, no one could have ever fathomed that. I'm 2-3 states away. Mm-hmm. And I end up with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with me and Amy, our dynamic was, of course, I was fortunate enough to be able to work at the airline at the time, and I was able to fly. Flying standby was way easier back then than it is today. Yeah. So I was able to always catch a flight, to where she from. So we was able to maintain a relationship based on her privilege to come see me, or my privilege to go see her. So it was never a weekend that me and her was apart. Mm-hmm. Either she was coming to me or I was going to her. One way it was happening. Mm-hmm. So, and all that came from a conversation. Like, me and her, the first night we met, it wasn't even sexual. It was
enjoying.
I'm really enjoying her vibe. Yeah. Like, this is different for me. Mm-hmm. And our whole relationship was like that. So understand, I met her in July. Mm-hmm. We was married in January.
Mm-hmm. Wow. July. So August, September, October, November, December, January. I had to do that for everybody. So the 6 months you was in.
That was 6 months.
Bro, so 6 months you was in?
I was married.
Mm-hmm. He was.
Like, all the way married.
So, okay, so that's a quick turnaround.
Right.
What was the thought process and what was the feel behind it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
For me, man, with her, it got to a point where I couldn't sleep without her. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted to come home to her every night. Like, I wanted that. Like, that was my, I was used to it. Like, that weekend wasn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was that feeling though? Like, because it's one thing to say, okay, I don't want to sleep without her, but what does that mean? Like, for the young man who's wondering what that is.
It's like when you know, like when you literally are losing sleep.
Mm-hmm. Think about it.
Because you can't be with that person.
Yeah.
It's time to be with that person.
Yeah.
The crazy part is, with me and her, when we got together, it was never pressure. She didn't pressure me. Like, it was never that. Like, it was just natural. It was all flow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do y'all think as far as the decision being emotional versus a sound decision? Like, how do you separate that to say, okay, I know I'm not just making an emotional decision? Because I think I may have made a really emotional decision the first time I went around.
It's a real thin line between them, because on one side of the coin, in your emotions, you can think, and then being rational, you can think.
Think, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like both sides of the coin, you're thinking, but one is driven by impulse and feelings. The other is driven by logic. If you believe in God, Holy Spirit, lead me, guide me, give me peace. So it's kind of hard for the average mind to kind of dive into it. So I think that's why most people just kind of sum it up with when you know.
Yeah, that's tough, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think I think it's who you are.
Yeah.
I think everything you said is right on the money, but I think it really boils down to truly being who you are. B is emotional. So he made an emotional decision.
Right.
I'm more logical,
Mm-hmm.
and I made a logical decision,
Mm-hmm.
even though my emotions are there.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't like I'm not, there's no way to not be able to deal in emotion when you're making a decision like this. But my logic leads.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the person who says, well, is there logic in love? How do we flip that coin?
I think a real relationship has the best of both logic and emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I think even when you're trying to decipher whether this woman is the woman for you, it's going to require not just a part of you, but the complete you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be emotional and logical. I think for me, when I decided to marry Constance, it was, logical and emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we were 14, 15 years old, she told me, I want to get married. I want to have a boy and a girl. I gave her that plus 2 boys, And so we always knew I always knew that was going to be my wife. It's just, I needed my maturity to catch up with my heart.
Mm-hmm. That's a big statement.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I meant well and I would never want to hurt her, but I indirectly broke her heart.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to, for me, I was able to rest in the solace of we'll be together
One way or the other.
eventually.
Yeah.
Just give me this time.
Yeah.
Hers was more, what?
Mm-hmm.
Time?
Mm-hmm.
Now or never,
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. When did you know though? Like what made you say, I'm ready?
I jumped off the porch very young. So by the time I'm 20, 21 years old, I had got everything out, like Prince Akeem was trying to solve his royal
Yeah,
oaths
you had already sold them.
10 times over, man.
Yeah.
I started going to strip clubs when I was like 14, 15 years old. So when it was time to settle down, that came, I ran towards it because I had been running hot and running reckless for so long.
You just wanted some stability.
I needed a lot of my friends had started dying.
Yeah.
So I needed something that can move at a pace instead of the fast type of life I was living.
Yeah, stability.
Yeah.
You wanted to stabilize your life. You didn't want to continue on that. You already knew if you continued, you was going to end up in the same place that those
Dead end jail.
You already knew what time it was. So,
so it was a selfish thing for me. I'm just keeping it all the way 100, man.
So that's logic then.
But you know what, bro?
That was the logical part.
That was the logical part for
brought
sure.
But I
something.
also couldn't live without my wife.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, I'm tired of you coming over here and having to leave.
Yeah.
You didn't want her to leave.
Yeah, it's time for you to stay.
Yeah.
At the time when we got married, I had a townhouse and I was living by myself. So when we got married, she moved right in with me.
Yeah.
And, I felt like I needed that
Yeah.
to complete me.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, okay, I'm missing something. Something's wrong. I got 2 boys, a baby mama. That's hell.
Mm-hmm.
But everything was driven by, it's time for me to settle down.
Yeah.
I gotta, have somebody with some sense around my boys. I need help.
Yeah.
And I knew it was always going to be Constance. It was just, one of the things.
Man, you said something that kind of put a different perspective on my early marriage. You mentioned, being outside and experiencing death and experiencing things that young people unfortunately goes through a lot now, but shouldn't have to deal with so young and so early.
Right.
And deal with it unresolved.
Right.
I was dealing with a lot of things that were unresolved. When I even went to the military, I was escaping certain things.
Got you.
Emotionally, a lot of trauma. I just lost my best friend to gun violence. You know what I'm saying? And So a lot of that rolled over into my new life, my new season. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, like trauma, like unresolved things that were there. And when I met her, and then of course, the love of my life decided to become a Delta and kick it in college.
Right.
That's right.
But no, she was living
she lived her
started
life.
experiencing
Life started lifing.
Life started life, and my life started life, and therefore our lives wasn't lifing together very well.
Right.
But I found somebody who brought a level of stability, a level of comfort, a level of escape, and that contributed to a lot of the decision that I made.
Got you.
So it wasn't necessarily, I won't say it was a bad thing, but it was from a place of, a lot of it was trauma.
I got you.
So one thing I'm finding in common, with two things I'm finding in common between the both of you is, one, you both jumped off the porch very early. Two, you both were dealing with trauma. And those women, regardless of who the woman was, they brought some form of stability.
Oh yeah,
to
definitely,
you.
definitely stability, man.
Straight.
Peace.
That's what it is.
Found peace, found stability.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's crazy because, like I say, for me, it was none of that. I didn't have no traumatic story. I didn't jump off the porch early at all.
Right.
I lived a normal, life. I played ball. I went to school. I liked girls. I kicked it with my friends. I had a very good life. But my wife didn't. Now she didn't have a horrible living. No, she was very spoiled. She was privileged. She didn't, but she just lived in an environment where those two things didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to live in a environment that could kill you, but we living well.
Right.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. That wasn't stable. Because it felt like I'm putting the flashiness over my safety.
Yeah.
She said she never felt safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just like y'all wives was stability for y'all, I believe I was stability for her.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah, it is. That's the reverse. That's the other side of that coin.
So I was already solid. I came from a solid family, a solid background.
Just like Conscious.
Loving, caring. My sister, my cousin, we grew up as siblings. I had aunt, we brought stability to him, all of those things. We reached out. My family was always the one to reach out and help stabilize other families, other homes.
Anchor.
So we was
They were like
always
anchors.
there.
Yeah.
It even extended into my own household.
Yeah.
We were extended families for tons of kids.
Yeah.
When even if it was just for a meal, or if it was just if they needed a pair of cleats, or they needed a ride, or they needed a babysitter, or whatever they needed, we were extensions of that.
Normalcy.
Like we always did that. We stabilized a lot.
Yeah.
So because I was able to help, make her whole, we were able to make others whole.
Right.
And I think that's what it's all about. It's about balancing, stability.
Yeah.
And that's how you also know, I think that's what makes it easy to know when you're married. Because one thing we all have in common is that we all got married at a very, very young age.
Right. I think we were all a lot more mature than today's 19 and 20-year-olds.
It was a lot of difference.
No doubt.
A lot of difference.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But I also believe that there's another side to that coin. I believe our households were not the norm, not the ones we produced.
Oh yeah.
We brought stability to whoever came out of it, and whatever that looked like, however that looked like.
Right.
So my sons are a lot more stable minded even in their immaturity, than the average kid.
Yeah.
Because when my youngest son went to college, he realized he had to leave something behind. Now, what he didn't realize was that when he got to college, he was going to pick it right back up. But it's now stabilized because he was always a brilliant kid.
Yeah.
But he didn't always make the best choices in terms of who he dealt with. So now that brilliance is being diminished because I'm not aligning myself with like-minded people.
Got you.
So when he went to school and he went to this college that was full of brilliant-minded people from all over the world.
Shout out to your son being in the Ivy League school, bro.
Right.
Let's not.
That's a wonderful thing,
Come on,
man.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is just to be able to get in that environment, he changed like this.
Wow.
Because
He
he
had to.
automatically reverted back to who he truly was.
Yeah. That's a big thing, man.
That's stability.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
That's what
man.
stability brings.
Yeah.
That's what coming from a household of stable people
Take
Yeah.
it back to your trainer. Yeah.
automatically.
Yeah.
And you teach that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would want to say, because as I'm hearing this conversation, I could kind of hear how maybe a young woman, young lady, probably, or may be able to get the sense of, okay, it just takes me to bring stability to him.
oh,
So something that I would want to say,
Yeah.
and I would, because anytime I feel something like that, I feel like I'm going to speak to my daughter.
absolutely.
It's so important for my daughter to understand. And when I'm speaking for my daughter, I'm speaking for anybody. But it's so important to understand that when a young man is in your life, when a man is in your life, when whoever this person is in your life, it's not your job to be their stability
That is correct.
or stable their ship. Because you said
Or their
anchors.
completion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
right.
Because you said anchors.
Anchors.
And what anchors do is they stable ships.
That's chaotic.
So if
and
you
going
see a
all
ship,
over the place.
if you see a ship approaching your shore and it's doing this,
Mm.
it ain't your job to drop the anchors for that ship.
Right.
You want that ship to begin to, as they mature, stable out
That's right.
before you come aboard.
That's right.
Facts.
You know what I'm
That is
saying?
true.
Or otherwise, board at your own risk.
That's it.
Well,
Because you about to
hold
take a
on.
ride, ain't you?
Where,
Yeah.
where that? So what does that look like?
As far as
So
what?
so what does that look like? So because we just gave an analogy, but I want to
So-
dive into that.
So,
yeah.
well, one thing, because
we want to know what that stability looks like
as-
from that young man's standpoint.
as we talk, maturity brings the stability. Maturity. That's why a lot of times, that's why they say women mature faster than their peer group.
that is
You know
correct.
what I'm saying? The boy is always behind the woman
Right,
as
right.
far as maturity.
Right,
right.
That's why a lot of women marry older men.
That is correct,
Because
yeah.
they find their maturity level in
Mm-hmm.
an older male.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But what stability looks like is life lived, wisdom acquired,
Mhm.
knowledge applied, wisdom acquired,
There you go.
and age, man.
That's right.
That's how I look at it. Maturity.
Well,
And you said something important by saying in age, meaning I don't expect you to have the wisdom of a 50, 60-year-old man.
Mm-hmm.
I expect you to have a wisdom for your age range.
Yeah, right.
Meaning if you're in the 18 to 21-year-old range,
Mm-hmm.
I need your 18-year-old self to have the maturity of that 21-year-old man.
yeah.
That's in your age range. That's
Yeah.
comprehensible for you.
Yeah.
So when I see a young man that is dating my daughter and he is older than her, but he doesn't have the stability
Yeah. That's still a thing.
that she's used
You're
to,
saying, what does that look like?
I'm telling you what it looked like.
Got you.
I'm in it.
Okay.
I've been in it.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like you as a young man. I just don't like you for my daughter
Right.
because she's used to this form of stability.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not in a position to offer her that.
You're not in a season to offer her that.
Right. That's the season.
Yeah.
You're still a young man. You have all the time in the world to grow and become who you're going to become. It's just she's already past that phase.
Right.
Yeah.
She's in the I'm
She's
about
big,
to
man. That's a
graduate
It's a
and I'm
big
about
thing.
to approach my life phase.
Mm-hmm.
I need whoever she's with to be in that point of their life as well.
And that's part of being equally yoked. It's part of, choosing the right one. But for the young ladies that are out there that wants to know what that unstable ship looks like in a young man, let me tell you.
Oh, bro.
I can be. Hey, I can speak on this because
that
I
ship
was
wobbling coming up to that shore.
Think of a ship with no brakes and no anchors, just going, and wherever the wind blow, that's which way he's going, wandering without a cause. So the first thing you look for is a young man that is just going. They have no plans. So what's your 5-year plan? Oh no. Really want some tater tots right now. What?
Right.
What?
Because he ain't did nothing but smoke
All
all day.
There
day
it is.
long.
That's the side right there.
Can't make a decision for himself, or when they do make decisions, they're very impulsive when they make those decisions. You can always look at that young man and his relationship with his mother.
Yes, sir.
That'll tell you a lot. He could be the,
And that, hold on, let's touch on that real quick. That don't mean that the relationship is a necessarily a tumultuous one.
No.
It can be a
Clingy
overly
one.
clingy one.
absolutely.
Meaning the
like,
mother and the son are too involved.
like when you
with one
marry
another.
him, you're marrying his mom too.
Right. She's moving in.
Or they could have the Tony Soprano and his mom's
Right.
relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which was like the tumultuous
Right.
relationship.
There you go. The Tommy,
Jay is talking about.
Tommy Egan and his mom.
There you go.
You know, that is a crazy
Yeah.
relationship.
The
I love
red
you, but I hate
flag.
you.
Red flag.
Off
As
the
a matter
rip.
of fact, I'm gonna give you some yellow flags. So because there's always warning flags before you get to your red flag. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
look out for the relationship with that man and his mom. Look out for cleanliness at his home.
Hygiene.
Hygiene, if he even has a home. Look at what he does and how he moves under pressure. All of these things will let you know very quickly whether a young man has anchors, maturity, and different things like that.
And
Now,
adding to what you said, how he moves under pressure, even
Yeah.
how he moves when you're under pressure.
exactly.
Right.
That's a
That's the
huge
most
thing.
important one.
Exactly.
That's the one I care about.
Yeah.
That's the one I care about. I care about you. I mean, I'm not here for the young man. Until you are married, I'm not here for the young man. That's not my responsibility.
Yeah.
Now, if you married a man, that changes things. But I'm here for you. Until that point where I'm able to give him over to you,
Yeah.
I'm here for you and only you.
Yeah.
That's so yes, I need to know how you're gonna protect my daughter.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I need to know how you're going to provide for my daughter. Now, I'm not saying that my daughter doesn't need to be able to provide for herself.
Right.
What I'm saying is she doesn't need to be able to have to carry you.
Right.
The moment
And you shouldn't feel comfortable being carried by
there,
her.
exactly.
That's the thing.
It's just that has been raised totally different
Right.
now. But how they handle their finances, if they have integrity, is he a man of his word when he say he gonna be somewhere? How many jobs has he had in the past year?
Ooh.
Can he keep a job?
Hey man, hold on.
Did he graduate high school?
These are
Will-
this
will
is
he go
such a
look for
dad.
it?
Will he go look for a job?
Right, this is such a dad moment. Like this is all the stuff that we are all talking
Yeah.
to these girls' boyfriends right now. For real.
Yeah.
I need you
Will
guys
he
to
go
know.
look for a job.
Are you going to look and listen? How about not let's just look for a job? How about let's establish a career?
Right.
Are we going to go to school?
Right.
See, I want longevity
trade,
money.
yeah.
I want longevity money. That's what I'm breeding. I'm breeding longevity. Everything that I'm producing it to continue to produce for a very, very, very long time.
Right.
That's what that's the
So,
lineage
Jay,
that I've created.
That sound like, that's what arranged marriages were.
Yeah, but that's not what I
They were
want.
business transactions
No, I'm talking
to
about
produce longevity and within the legacy, brother. That's what you're saying, brother.
What I'm saying is,
Who done raised up a son that I can buy into.
Here's the
this.
criteria.
Yeah.
We're accepting applications.
All right. Listen, I'm not saying that that's what I'm doing, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I most definitely have
Facts.
my hands or want to have my hands
Wow.
in the process because I understand that my kids are all independent.
Yeah.
They're going to make their own decisions.
Facts.
What I'm saying is, I want you to at least look at my life and every life that I've surrounded you with, whether it be your uncles, whether it be your grandpa, whether it be me and your mama.
Yeah.
I've surrounded us with
Right.
nothing but life,
Right.
healthy, balanced
Right.
relationships.
Yeah.
An apple tree can't produce a pear.
Right.
That's not what it produces. If I'm producing an apple, I need to be able to that apple to produce another apple.
Right.
That's what we're doing. That's all we're doing. Now, I'm not saying I don't tell you what it looks like. I don't care whether it's white, black, Chinese, Latino. I don't care who you love. I don't.
Right.
What I care about is you making the right decision that's going to continue this lineage to go on.
You just said a mouthful.
That's a lot.
You don't care about the love part. When I just took it a step deeper, I don't care about how much he loved you. I want to know how much he was loved.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
As
how
a
deep,
father,
that's how deep we got to dive into.
as a father,
That's
I
right.
need to know that young man was loved
And
properly.
That's the only way he's going to
Because
be able to
if
love
he
you.
wasn't, that's my daughter's new ceiling.
That's it. That's it, man.
You feel what I'm saying?
Big, man.
That's it.
So how was this young
Examining how he was loved.
Right. Okay, he's super gung ho about joining the basketball team. His plan is to go D1, no lower than D3 college. Okay, so what happened this school year? Well, he transferred schools to go to this school, and he's going to make it happen. Okay, the season's over. What did he get any offers? No. Well, he didn't get any offers. So what happened? The plan changed. Okay. Well, what's the plan? It's in remission.
The plan is in remission.
The plan is in remission, and we're just taking it day by day. We're just going to nomad it up. That's a red flag. That's a boat with no brakes, with no anchors.
So
stay away from
But
him.
what's wild though, because now I'm playing the other side of the thought.
Okay.
Is there were a lot of things about me as a young guy that I had a backpack full of red flags.
Right. Absolutely.
Matter of fact, I didn't even carry a backpack at all in school,
Wow.
which was a huge red flag.
Wow.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Most definitely.
Like, the love of my life, my high school sweetheart, and my wife, when her mother met me, she told her, "Oh, you can't be with him. You can't be with him. Oh no, I see what he about." And she heard about some things too. She said, "No, you break up with him." Now, this is the same. Well, I was in the same skin then, but in that season, that was the right call.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking like, okay, so what about when, when do we say, okay, are we unfairly judging a young man? Or are we prematurely?
Well,
judging
hold
a young
on
man?
now.
You're judging a tree by the fruit that it bears
There it is.
in that season.
In that season.
And the reason why I keep
You
putting
were just a
emphasis
young
on
fruit.
Guess what?
There
And
you go.
it was my winter time, and there was no fruit being bared.
Right.
and you're a product of whatever was put into you or whatever was put around you. Like
I'm
Jay
not-
said,
I'm
he
not
put
gonna-
certain people around his
Absolutely.
kids.
So here's the thing, because when it comes to that, see, the fullness of who I was wasn't showing up.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She saw an aspect of who I was, but she didn't understand the fullness of who I was. Because when we talk about, what parents put in you and,
Right.
and things like that, well, I wasn't walking in that at that time.
Right.
Right.
It ain't that it
Right.
wasn't there.
It was there.
But it was
ain't
there.
that-
It just was
wasn't
dormant.
connecting at that
it was
time.
in
for you.
seed form.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me say this, and the dad in me does not like you. He sees the potential in you, but he doesn't like you because right now, like you say, you're still young. you too immature to be with my daughter anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go and fast forward to 20-year-old Brian.
Oh yeah.
That man had a career. He was maturing. He was coming into who he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That man was a military man, Air Force man. That means he's the brightest of the bright.
Right.
I know he had the gall, the gumption, the courage to climb out of whatever situation he was in and made a decision to change his life.
Right.
That's who I want my daughter with.
Yeah.
Because
but even in that, see,
Yeah.
because look, that's who her parents said. That's who I want my daughter with.
right.
Talking about the first wife. That's what her
right.
parents
Because of who you became.
they said, "Oh, yeah."
They didn't know that
See,
guy
that's
back
what I'm saying.
then.
It's so much that comes with so much.
Right.
So what's the lesson in that? Boys and girls, don't just be moved by the superficial surface stuff.
Yeah, please.
Because that military man can have some real
Oh my gosh.
issues in his
What?
closet.
But
my
they're real.
goodness.
But again, the other side of that
But it
is
was the
see,
forward motion of the maturing.
that's
that
what
was
I'm looking
happening.
at. See, I already know that the young man's gonna come with some muck. None of us are clean. None of us come without issues. Only the world puts one issue over the other. An issue is an issue. I can't judge your issue because I have issues too.
Right.
I'm trying to see, are you going to continue to press forward?
Resilience.
Are you going to fight out of this or are you going to drown?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
See,
man.
that's the man you want your daughter because that's what I did. That's who I am. That's what I'm teaching. That's what I'm producing. See, now I went from producing. I went from being a low hanging fruit to making sure that the fruit ripened.
Got you.
So my seeds are ripened. They're full. They're able to live all the way up to their potential. If they want to.
If they want to, yeah.
It's on them.
Nah, for real.
But if I see my seed doing exactly that, why would I want my seed with anything less than is doing exactly that?
Wow.
At least match energy.
Yeah. At least.
At least make it make sense.
Because you won't be able to see everything.
No.
Kids' first impressions are just that.
Yeah.
First impressions. And they're usually almost 100% fake.
Yeah.
So you never meet the real person on the first day.
Right.
Give it some
man.
time,
That-
give
that-
it some situations, and then it'll reveal itself.
Yeah.
But I think for me, raising a daughter who's had a few boyfriends, I'm cool with it as long as a father knows within the first 2 or 3 times of meeting someone
Yeah.
whether they're right. And the only reason I don't just say the first time is because I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt because of the disconnection from the current culture.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
get it.
There's a lot of things, even as a youth pastor, there's a lot of things I
yeah.
don't get and I still need tutelage on from them.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because it's like
This is foreign.
learning Spanish or French or something
Yeah.
at 40 something.
Yeah.
It's so weird now.
Yeah.
It
But
is.
anyways,
It is.
yeah,
It's different.
It's different. It's different. It's different. But if the kid isn't making any type of attempt to meet me, if the kid can't look me in my eyes,
Yeah,
when
those
I'm
are all
seeing-
red flags.
If the kid is overly nice and respectful,
Those are all red flags.
Golly, so he can't not look you in your eyes. He can't respectfully look you overly in your eyes. He can't be too nice.
the only thing that speaks to a father, and I'm just talking for myself, is consistency.
See, I have a sixth sense about people. So consistency most definitely is wonderful, but I can read you off the rip. Everything that he just named are all things that I'm looking for because I'm looking for a guy like me. That's the only person I can identify.
Jay,
I'm serious. I'm looking for a
Jay.
man's man. I'm
He's
looking
like,
for
I'm looking for somebody like me.
I'm looking for me.
Look, seriously. I'm just gonna keep it real. I need somebody that likes sports. I need somebody that
Jay,
What if you
Yeah.
don't like sports?
hold on, Jay.
So what?
What if you don't like
Hold on,
sports?
Jay. Go ahead.
Well, he ain't gonna.
We run your criteria.
Yeah, they're about to run it.
So
You
wait a
gotta
minute.
like sports.
He has to like
Monty
sports.
can't be with him because he don't like sports?
you're not even, to me, listen.
You're
bro.
not even a man.
That on, Jay?
I mean, you got to like tennis or something. I don't care what sport you like. Long as it's a human body doing something in it.
Something
Right.
athletic?
That's the sport to me.
He likes pickleball.
Pickle it up, brother. Because pickleball can get a little physical.
Oh,
You know what I
my
mean?
goodness,
So
bro.
at the end
I
of the
don't
day,
even know what pickleball is. I heard
what
about
I'm,
it.
It's
what,
for old folks.
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, I need somebody to have certain qualities. Like you say, I don't want the guy that's coming in overly, trying to overly excited and trying to make me try hard. I don't want that guy. I don't want the guy that like you say can't look me in the eye. I want somebody that knows how to hold a conversation, how to shake my hand, look me in my eyes, hold a decent conversation. Because I'm not the one that's going to get in your business early. I just want to see if you can talk to me without cussing.
How articulate are you?
Exactly. Do you know how to expand your vocabulary? How far does your vocabulary go? I know I sound bougie. It's okay.
Can you protect
That's my daughter.
Can you protect my daughter if there was a fight to happen?
Right. What I'm saying is, it's okay for me to want more for her. It's okay for me to want her to have the best in life. And I ain't saying go out there and be a gold digger. I'm not saying don't go out there and ask for money that you ain't earned. I'm saying that go find somebody that can push you to be the best you, and you can push them to be the best them. And I know who I've created you to be. So I've already created you to be the best.
So you know what, Jake? So what you confirming to me right now is, and I'm gonna say this for my wife, what you confirmed is it's okay for us to have standards and
Absolutely.
standards and what's the word when you want something specifically from somebody or a circumstance?
Demands.
Demands. It's okay to have a
Absolutely.
demand.
It is.
Because I told my wife that when my girls get married, their husbands are going to have to change their name to my last name.
I don't know about that.
So, no, Jay, you just said it's okay, bro. You just
If
named
that's the
all
man-
that.
That's a bit much.
that's not the
So,
man
no,
that
no, no.
I'm going to allow to marry my
No,
child.
because
Right.
it's going to be a conversation.
If
I'm
you-
like, you
No,
go
it's
for
gonna
that?
be- right.
No, it's
You
going to be a
gonna go for
conversation.
that?
No, it's going to be a conversation. It's going to be a real
Like,
conversation.
I don't think
It's
you
going to be
cut
an
them up.
initiation type thing.
I got you.
Because, you know,
Yeah.
I want my name to keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This dude
Right.
serious.
Through all the kids. I
Got
got my son. My son will do his thing.
Got you.
But I needed to go a
I
certain
got
way
you.
from all
Got
my
you.
kids
Right.
in my house. So we're going to come to an understanding. When we find the right man, we're going to come to that understanding.
And I started thinking about Mr. Jones.
Would you, if he would have requested, if he asked you,
No, I wouldn't.
man, you about to marry my daughter, I love you, man.
I love you too, Pops.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
you know, I really need something from you right now.
What's that? Anything.
I need you to be Anthony Jones.
Never gonna happen. Love you, sir.
I love you, sir. You can shake hands.
Never gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not
I'm a
going to
man's
happen.
man too.
Hey,
my
man,
guy.
nah, bro. I don't care about
Nah,
none of that.
never gonna
They
happen.
changing their name.
But what I got from Mr. Jones, because when he met me, I was like wild.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What I got from him was patience, genuine love.
Mm.
He would show up to things that I didn't necessarily invite him to, but wouldn't mind if he came. But he just owned it as I'm supposed to be here.
Mm.
And he knew me and Constance were doing, you know, he wasn't stupid. And I never played him like he was stupid. I always kept it 100 with him. But he had patience with me.
Mm.
I don't know if it's something he saw. I got to ask him. But
You know what he saw. As a father, what did he see?
from my
At that
perspective,
time, though, in
from
that
my
season-
perspective back then, I don't know because I was all over the place.
Yeah, but you still had foundation.
I did. I
And-
definitely
and see, that's
did.
what-
God's
that-
foundation.
That's what he's not saying. He was a guy that was in church. He went to church. He even if he didn't go in the church, he was around the church.
Always.
He kept stability. He kept God in his life. Who is Mr. Jones? A God-fearing man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
he
he's
saw that,
connecting.
though. He saw
He's
that.
connecting with that alone. That I know God is going to turn him around.
Well,
but that's a big.
there was other
but his
things.
faith is different. B.
There was other things that he saw that he was made aware of with me and Constance that the average father would have wigged out on.
Most definitely.
And what stood out to me more than what he could have did was what he did do.
Right.
Because even then I'm like, oh man, you know, look like me and Pop's gonna have to
Duke it out.
duke it out.
I remember this joke calling me on the phone. Jay, come get me. Come get me. Nah, man.
This I ain't coming.
Nah, I ain't
He
coming,
was
bro.
15 minutes from me.
You gotta take. You gotta take this whooping, bro. Yeah,
Her mama just caught us screwing.
you gotta take this whooping,
Wow,
bro.
bro.
I said, bro.
That was the maturity in me. I wanted him to get his ass whooped.
Wow. Period.
Yeah, because as a man who is like,
now watch him try to validate this. Listen to this.
as a man who I can only put myself in this man's shoes, even as a young man. We were young.
We were very young.
We were young.
Yeah, like 17.
I wish I would catch somebody on my daughter. Me and
You was
Ashley.
thinking about a daughter then?
Probably was.
See, that's what I'm saying. His
I can't
Jay's
even go
maturity
back.
level was
No.
way
First of
He
all,
was way up
Jay
there.
is the guy you don't call if you're moving.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So it had nothing to do with morals. It had nothing to do with it. Jay was probably watching a show
It said, no, I'm
and
not
was
coming
chilling.
over there.
And it's like, I'm not leaving my room. You're gonna. It had nothing to do with being a father,
All it
daughter.
was just
No,
ahead of the game.
nigga,
thinking
I'm
about-
chilling.
Hey, look. That was the father in me that was chilling on the couch
Man, please.
watching TV.
Yo.
That wouldn't
I
bust
think
him
I
over.
ended up calling Carvis, her brother,
Lord,
and told him something,
Wow.
and it worked. By the time Constance's mama called him to tell him what had happened, man, we pulling in Beside Road.
Wow.
So he's like, "Yo, my mom said she came downstairs and you and Constance was down there and she didn't have no panties on."
Oh,
I said,
wow.
"What?"
Wow, boy.
That's what I said. I said, "Boy, that's crazy."
Oh.
I said, "Your mama said that?"
Oh.
Man, tell her to call me, man. I'm gonna holler at you back.
That's wow.
Hey, look. I said, man, hey, look, man, that's crazy. Tell her to call me. I'm gonna holler at you, boy.
No, sir.
He dapped him up.
Then I gave one of them Collie Park walks into the house. Mama!
Hey, man, for our viewers, man, if you don't know what a College Park walk look like, he just
It's
did
an
the shit.
Atlanta walk.
It's a whole
It's
walk.
a whole ATL thing.
I that man is a different type of man. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
That's a lot.
He's a different type of man.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a
But I
different type
remember
of
the
man.
talk
He's
that we
patient.
had after that.
How old you say y'all was?
They were young.
15.
Boy.
I
No.
couldn't. I wasn't 16
If
because I
he-
didn't have no car.
No. Something happened to your car. Something happened because we were old enough. I was driving. We were 17.
Mm-hmm.
We were 17 because I had my car. Because that's why you called me.
Okay.
Which, it wasn't none of my business. I've always been a mind your business type of guy. It's unless it come to my family, I don't see nothing. I don't say nothing.
Jay crazy,
This nigga
man.
call, all I hear constantly in the background talking about, no.
You gonna stay here? You gonna wait
stay
till my
right
dad get here?
Like, I'll let y'all later.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Click.
break up with you after this.
Hey, man,
Is this the type of position you're trying to put me in?
So these is all the red flags we hear
These are
about,
the
ladies.
dude was a super red flag.
I was.
Like, I see, and that's why I was the picture of stability. Y'all both were red flags.
bro.
I was more of a
really.
stability guy. But here's the crazy part. Y'all were more mature in your later years than I was in mine. Because I made my mistakes after the fact.
Got you.
Y'all
As far
made
as
y'all
marriage.
mistakes. Right. Y'all made y'all mistakes
Before.
before the fact.
Definitely.
We were built way
Definitely.
different.
Because
I had never
was
got all
done.
of what
Yeah.
I heard Dr. Jamal Bryant speak on this today, where he talked about how he messed up his marriage because he didn't even know he wasn't ready to be monogamous.
Yeah. It's a big thing.
It is a huge thing because although your mind is telling you, I'm ready to do this, your body is telling you something totally different.
Shoot, not your mind. A life is telling you.
Absolutely.
You need to do this. This is logical.
Right. There's you left all this behind, like, and now she tripping. That's a whole nother show though.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
But that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, that'll be the next.
We'll most definitely get into that on the next one.
It's just crazy, man. I'm just thinking about it.
How you navigate the tough years.
Yeah, we need to.
We most definitely that because
the thing is, we kind of touched on my first marriage,
right?
But we also have to now when we talk about the transition back into my my first love, and transition.
That's a whole different type of tough years.
It was some tough,
but
times.
It's because of the decisions that we made so young.
Right.
See, that's the cost. Because again, yes, we did all feel like we were ready to get married, but unfortunately, your marriage didn't last, and we took our women through some craziness.
Right. Trying to
mature
grow,
in marriage.
Figure it out.
I don't want my daughter to visit that either. I want you to do what your son is doing, Keon is doing, and seeing the world and enjoying life before he brings life into this world. Yeah. Like those are the decisions that you raise your kid to make.
Yeah, man.
Because I want you to be in a position to where you never had to feel what your mama ever had to feel a day in your life.
Yeah.
That's why I need you to listen to me when I'm telling you he ain't the one. Because he's going to put you in that exact position, and you're never. At least I was able to climb out of that phase of my life because I had foundation to come back to.
You know what though? I think you said it when you said if they choose to.
If they choose to.
Because one of the things I had to really just accept was my role as a parent. Not just a father, but a parent.
Yeah.
As parents, our job is to train our children. But it's God's job to raise our children. So when we're training them, we're giving them a taste of life. Here's the things that you can expect, and I need to make sure that you're ready for this by way of, is your room clean? By way of, hey, did you keep that appointment, or am I still making appointments for you? You know, the small things make a big picture.
Absolutely.
And, you know, once I got away from the bondage of training and raising my kids, it grew to a point where it was like, you know what? How can I expect for my daughter for me to go, you don't need to be with him, I need y'all to break up? How can I expect for her to do it when my mama tried to get me to break up with my wife? I tore her house up. Glass tables, I think your dad ended up having to come over.
He came into the melee.
You know what I'm saying? Holes in the wall. I got to break up. I'm literally threatening to break something else in her house if she's even make mention of trying to break me and Constance up again.
You're a psycho.
He was a little. That's what I say. And has always been a lover boy. He's always been that guy. Like,
so, which is why I'm not surprised at Shane.
Yeah,
not at all.
Shane has always been in a relationship, and I asked you that question because I was thinking about it. I don't ever remember being single.
Yeah. And see, my sons are just like me.
Wow.
Where I've always promoted them. Again, you train them up, is to don't get married at 21 years old. Become the mature part of you. Be as ready as you can be to be in a relationship.
Right.
Yeah,
Until then, do what you want to do. I want you to get it out your system. I want you to have some of the wildest nights you could ever have so that you never, ever hurt the one you love.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Yeah. Because most of these little dudes on Conquest.
Yeah.
Man, we used to go to skating rinks just to see who gonna get a number, who gonna get a kiss.
Yeah. That was the innocent days.
Who gonna end up over there on the wall kissing somebody?
Yeah.
Kissing somebody's daughter. And that became a conquest. So when I see my daughter bring home somebody that I know he's on conquest season, my innate ability to want to protect and preserve my daughter's heart
Yeah.
feelings, innocence.
All
If
of
they're,
that.
you know what I'm saying, if
All
that's
of
what
it.
you want to call it.
Right. All of that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to. I'm a protector. I'm her father. I want to, but it's like how I reacted towards my mom. I don't see Riley doing that on that level.
No.
She'll do the same thing. It just comes out different.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I just find myself advising
Yeah.
and trusting that she's gonna make the right decision.
Well, and all of the stuff that I say, that's all I'm doing too.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't force my child to see what I see.
Yeah.
I can't force her to want what I want, but I can trust that I've instilled enough in her to recognize what to look for
Right.
in the right person.
Right.
Because I've been instilling that.
That's
So
good.
we're going to always go through the frustration years.
Yeah.
We're going to always see things. We're not going to always see things eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
But what we are going to see is the respect enough to say, you know what? I might play with him for a little bit, but, you know, if my dad ain't rocking with him, I'm not rocking with him.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Get it out your system.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's
Just
good stuff.
so you know, as a father, we do got to stay back and kind of watch and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. But you know what I mean? I think we all have done things to our spouses that can reflect negatively on our children.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we fight so hard to do right by our spouses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to make sure that my wife is always happy so that my daughter knows to choose happiness.
Right.
and if you're going to be with somebody, choose someone that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Choose happiness.
Choose happiness, but learn how to be happy by yourself.
Absolutely. That's the
Because
first.
that's the first happy.
That's
the
the
first
first.
happy.
That's the first.
Choose the
That's
first
the first. I don't want to say and only happy, but it's the first happy that gets you used to accepting happiness from every other area.
But you know what?
Absolutely.
I speak that to the sons as well, man.
Absolutely.
Choose you as
Yep.
your first happiness.
Yep. If we could do it all over again, me and Constance always say we would definitely marry each other still.
Yeah.
We just would have waited.
Same here.
We would've
Same
waited.
here. We would allow each other to develop, and
Mm-hmm.
I think my wife was going to always become who she was going to become.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that by allowing her to mature, we could have both avoided a lot of heartache
Right.
unnecessarily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but we also have to realize
That's hard to say though.
Yeah.
Because you were the stability for her. So it's hard to tell whether her rocky ship would have been able to level out.
And that's the other side
On
of that
its own.
coin. That's the other side of that coin for any situation.
Mm-hmm.
The outcome could be totally different if there was more time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we had to go through the heartbreak
Yeah,
to
man. Definitely,
become who we are.
That's everybody's weight room,
Yeah,
though. Everybody
exactly.
got their own weight room, their own weights to press, their own muscle to develop, and that's part of it, man.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
That's good.
I think
Well,
it's been
that's
a
what's up.
great show, guys. I think we put out a lot of takeaways for
A
sure.
lot was said.
I think we got a couple new shows that we got to talk about
In
just off
development.
this, man, for sure, man.
Marriage is more than coochie, y'all.
Oh yeah, man. Come on, man.
Most definitely.
If I was to go back to 20 years, sex all the time, man, same booty, ain't got to worry about getting no teeth. I could boof in this.
Nah, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Listen,
you're
young men,
Yeah,
look
man.
for more, man. Expand your horizons.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, y'all. Well, this is Family by Choice. Follow us on all
Men's edition.
social media.
Men's
this is the men's
edition,
edition.
yeah.
This is how we started right here.
This is
the
how
squad,
we started.
you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, love you guys. Follow the journey. Join the family. Subscribe where all podcasts are shown.
Yes,
Peace.
indeed. Peace.
Peace.